This is going to be our first try at this. In this particular one, they gave me directions on making this a single pole or a three-way. A single pole, they're saying you use the same switch, black to black, red to black, and the white one, red and white here, you wouldn't use. So they gave us a blue wire nut, and they said just put the blue wire nut on here. Okay, and you wouldn't use this for this particular dimmer. Okay, so what does that tell you? That tells you that the black and the red are the powers. So we're going to go black to black, and then this red and white one, you see, I don't know on their switch what the deal was, but this black wire over here loops around, and it's going to connect power to both of these switches too, and this is the power, okay, that comes out of this box. And then this black wire and red wire are going over to the other light switch. And then from that other light switch, it goes up to the lights. And that's how I was always taught how to wire something. These two are going up in the same Romex cable, so I know I can't have power and power in both of those unless they hooked it up differently. So I'm going to use my gut instinct, and I'm going to hook this up the way I think it needs to be hooked up. I'm going to go ground to ground there, and I'm going to rewire. I'm going to wrap the ground wire, a different way when I redo this, okay? But for right now, I'm going to go my black wire over to this black wire. This is my instincts telling me to do it this way, okay? I'm just going to kind of pull on it and make sure that it's hooked on there. And then the red wire that's coming out of here is the other power, and usually, I say that, will be the other black wire. And that black wire is going over to the other light switch. If this was a single pole switch, that would go up to the light. Okay, and the red and white wire here, I am going to connect to this red. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that's what I should do. Now I'm going to turn the power on, and I'm going to gently hold this like that and turn this and dim it and see if it's going to work. Okay. Cross our fingers. I'm going to go turn the breaker on now. Okay, I have not touched this yet, but remember I was saying I can't remember what those were for. Well, one of them I remember is for the ceiling fan. And that's got to be that one. And now the ceiling fan is going off. Okay. This was the one I wasn't sure where that went. Okay, so right now I have not done anything with this dimmer yet. The lights are on. Okay, the can lights are on. And now I'm going to hold this up here, and I'm going to first off see if I can dim them. Okay. and I'm dimming the switch. I'm pushing the dimmer down, and look at the lights. Oh, that's cool. See, bright, and I'm dimming them down. Okay, so far so good, right? Okay, now I'm going to hit the switch, the paddle at the bottom, and the lights should go off. And the lights do go off. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this should be right, but now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to turn this on, and the lights should go back on. And they do. Okay? Now, I'm going to turn this one off. The light should go off. And I should hit this paddle, and this should make the lights go back on. And they do. Okay? Turn it off. Turn that on. Come over here. Make sure it goes off when I hit this one. And they do. When I do my dimmer, and the dimmer works. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. I've hooked it up the right way by Joe. It just threw me off on how they had it. How they had this wired. And I don't really think they had it wired properly, but somehow or the other, it seemed to work fine. And incidentally, this dimmer switch, it said, there's little side deals on the side here, and they say if you're going to put this one, let's say this switch here, you're going to put a dimmer in there too, and it had these wings on there on both sides. Well, the ones that on the right, you'd have to bend these off, and these ones on the left, I would have to bend these back and forth and break that off so that it would fit in there. Now they say never take the outside ones off for some reason, and I don't have to break these off over here because I don't have another dimmer switch here. It should fit in there fine. Okay. And the other thing they had, it was really slick, this back trim, this trim can pull off. You depress it here, you can pop that off, and then there's a little set screw down here. And it was like, I was looking at the directions, and where did I see that? That might be on the other page. Look at all these directions, by the way. Now one is in French, I think. One's in Spanish. This is English. See, English, Espanol, and this is French. I don't know how you say French. I don't know how you say that. But anyways, you see this here, it said number 3, and I'm reading on that, and I'm like, what's the deal with that? And it was like, bulbs turn on at high level. Symptom, here, if you're doing troubleshooting, symptom, bulbs turn off while being dimmed. Or bulbs turn on at high light level, but do not turn on at low light level or take too long to turn on at low end. Or bulbs flicker or flash when dimmed to a low light level. Solution: verify all bulbs are marked dimmable and are on the list approved CFLs, LEDs. So you got to make sure your bulbs are dimmable, and mine are. Mine are incandescent floodlight bulbs, and they're probably 60 watts. If I were to change them to LEDs, I'd have to get LEDs that were dimmable. You can get dimmable and non-dimmable LEDs, and I don't even know if CFLs, if you can dim those. You'd have to look and make sure. So if you have an issue with your dimmer switch not working, you mainly check that. But then here's another solution. Turn up clockwise adjustment dial 3 slowly until symptom is no longer present. And I'm like, what? Turn what up? Turn up clockwise adjustment. And I'm looking on here, and I see a number 3, and there's a little area right there, and I'm like looking at the cover, saying, how do you do that? Because I can't even see how to get in there. Boy, this thing gets warm too. I think all dimmers do that. And you can pop the trim off on this back side, and this small trim piece pulls off, and then you can turn this little set screw on there if you have certain issues, if your light bulbs are flickering or different things. And I've never had a dimmer do that. I've always had just dimmers on off and dim it up and down, and that's it. I've never seen anything else. Okay, but this one you can pull that off. That was kind of slick. Okay, so before I put this back in there, I'm going to shut the power back off, so I'm going to do that right now. Very important, don't forget to do that, okay? I was doing a light one time, and I forgot to do that, and I just started getting my hands in there and shocked myself, so just be careful about that. I'm going back to the panel and shutting off the breaker.